Welcome back. We're going to do a quick piece on spoons. I'm kind of a spoon junkie, so I have a lot in my box. That's only probably about half of the trout spoons that I have, but real quick, we talk about and we use a whole lot of different spoons. So I wanted to go through them with you real quick. This is Fish Hunt Shoot. That's called a speed spoon. So that one runs, I've caught fish with this all the way down to 2.2. Runs best at 2.5 to 3 plus. It's very much like a Speedy Shiner, if you've ever seen a Speedy Shiner, but this is a superior spoon to that in my opinion. It's got a lot more action in the water. It comes in all kinds of different colors. That's a Pro UV right there. But you can see that the bend in that spoon, it really has a tremendous amount of action in the water. Fast trolling spoon, it's great. Another good fast trolling spoon all the way down to slow is the Magnum trigger spoon. So that's about the same size as the one that we just showed you. That one's got an S curve to it, very much like a crocodile. So the action is different on that. You'll catch fish on that sometimes when you won't catch them on that one, or vice versa. It's a large spoon, so it tends to run well at high speeds, but this will fish all the way down to your slower trolling speeds as well. Moving down in size, there is the standard trigger spoon. These are all FHS, fishhuntshoot.com spoons. This one is a death prism. I really like that finish. Again, that S shape is the very common shape for that trigger spoon. It's a fairly light profile spoon, or fairly narrow profile, and it's not very thick. So I haven't casted these. I don't know how well they'll cast, but they're not going to cast as well as something like a Castmaster or a Crocodile. And down at the smaller end, there's another trigger spoon. That one is a junior trigger spoon. So this one will run very slow if you want it to run. These come in all kinds of colors. This happens to be the ones, the striped ones that look similar to Eppinger Daredevil or something like that, but I have them in tons of different colors. That's the lineup that I usually use from Fish Hunt Shoot. The other Fish Hunt Shoot one that I have that I use occasionally is this one, and that's a very odd shaped spoon. That's a rolling spoon. That's called a crippled minnow. So that one will roll in the water as you fish it, and I found it to be fairly productive certain times when other spoons are not. So that one's kind of an anomaly in my box. I don't have other spoons that will do that. Works really well. This is a little Cleo. This is a big little Cleo. This one's about 2/3 of an ounce, I think, or something like that. It's typical bend for a spoon. I have these all the way down to teeny tiny. If I knew where it was, I'd pull it out of there, but it's a little tiny thing about the size of a wee dick knight. These are fairly versatile, especially with the profile. These have a bigger profile than any of the other spoons that I have in my box. There's times when it seems like the fish like that, and other times when they're looking for a narrow profile. You kind of really got to match what the fish are eating, or show them something they haven't seen before. So those Cleos are one of my go-to spoons. Another one you probably don't want to be without, especially for casting, is a Castmaster. That's the basic Castmaster. It's been around forever. That one's fairly large. They cast like a bullet. They have a fair amount of weight to them. Fantastic trolling spoon as well, even though it's called a Castmaster. So these come in tons and tons of different finishes. This is a bait fish finish, obviously, but you can get them in metallics or colors or anything like that. Gary Morales' Humdinger right there. They're being sold by Max Tackle right now. That has a really drastic S bend to it, you can probably see, and has a different action than just about anything else in the water. The other thing this has is a single Siwash on it. Occasionally I will take the trebles off and put Siwashes on different things just to see what the difference is in hookup rates, and especially if I'm worried about injuring fish. It seems like the single hooks definitely tend to not injure the fish quite like a treble at some times. Another one, I think this is also Gary Morales originally from Shasta Tackle. That is a Crippler. Now this one has to run pretty fast for it to actually work. It was funny because a lot of people talked about the Crippler, use that thing whenever nothing else is working, and I tried it and tried it and tried it. I was like, this thing sucks, it never works. But we were trolling too slow, you know. I was dragging this thing along at 1.8. It doesn't have any kind of action. You pull this thing up to 2.2, 2.5, or even up to 3, and it goes nuts. Fish really love it. They talk about the ring chamber that's in here that makes some noise. I don't know about all that, but I can tell you that it actually catches fish pretty damn well. The other one that's an old standby, this is probably my favorite spoon of all time, even before I got onto Cal spoons, is the basic Crocodile. That one's fairly small. You can get them smaller than this. You can get them way bigger than this for saltwater. That is a heavy casting spoon. It trolls very well, as does a needlefish. I don't have one of those out here, but a needlefish is much narrower profile and thinner and lighter. But those crocodiles really troll really well. Some of them have this little swim tail with them, some of them don't. Not particularly fond of the hooks that Lure Jensen puts on there, but they can easily be replaced. The smaller sizes all have a split ring. The bigger sizes have a welded ring that you'd have to change out to do something like that. There are other spoons that I use and that I fish, but that's primarily the lineup. When you see us talking about this kind of spoon or that kind of spoon, we just wanted to get some of that out in front of you, because a lot of times we don't have a chance to show you that stuff when we're out fishing and we're in the boat and it just slips our mind or whatever. But that's some basic stuff for spoons. I am a spoon guy, tried and true, and if I can fish a spoon, I'll fish that versus anything else. Thanks.